Hey, my name is Ashley. Today I'm going to be walking you through making galaxy jars. What I love about making galaxy jars is that a lot of these materials you have around the house, and this is something that can also be replicated or duplicated, and you can do this at a party, at a sleepover, in a classroom. You can do it with multiple people. So before we jump in, I just want to go over materials really quickly. So the first thing you're going to need is a jar. This is just a upcycled salsa jar. I just covered the cap. And you're also going to need different types of paint. So I'm going to be using 3 colors today, so I have 3 different types of paint. If you have a bigger jar, maybe you need 5. It's, totally up to you, but you're going to need paint. Glitter. Some sort of a stick. You can use a pencil, you can use a used paintbrush, just something to basically stick in the water and push down the cotton balls. And then last, of course, you're going to need cotton balls. So of course, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and let's just jump right in. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is add our water. I'm going to be doing 3 colors, so I'm going to fill my jar to about here with water. Next, you're going to add your first color and then gently swirl it around. Next, we're going to make and add our clouds. I like to take the cotton balls and stretch them out a little bit to give them more of a cloud shape, and then I just toss them in the jar. At this point, I like to add glitter, and I usually just take the stick and push the glitter to the sides of the jar. That way it can be seen. We're going to continue adding cotton balls, and this is when personal preference kind of plays a role. If you want your colors to blend a little bit, you want to go light on the cotton balls. If you want your layers to be very distinct colors where like they don't really blend much, it's 1 layer of purple, 1 layer of pink, 1 layer of green or whatever, then you want to add a lot of cotton balls and you want most of your water soaked up. So I'm going to do a little bit of both. I want distinct layers, but I also want them to blend. So I'm going to do kind of like a middle of the road. Now I'm ready for my second layer, so we're just going to follow the same exact steps. We're going to do water, paint, glitter, and add our cotton balls just like before. And now I'm moving on to my third layer, and again, we're just going to follow the same exact process, so I'm just going to jump ahead a little bit. Okay, so we are all set, we're all done. I put my cap back on, but before you log out, there's a couple tips and just a couple things that I wanted to talk about in case you want yours to be slightly different. So before we start, we'll take a look at mine. So you could see that mine, the colors kind of like overlap, they're a little bit blended, the layers aren't super distinct. I like mine like this. Like I want mine to almost look like cotton candy where the colors overlap. However, if you want very distinct layers where it's purple, almost like a line, pink, line, blue, line, and they don't intermingle, you're going to want to take a bunch of cotton balls while you're doing this. You're going to take a bunch of cotton balls and you're going to want to really pack them in tight. So me, I was a little bit loosey-goosey with my cotton balls. Like I would throw some in there, I would soak up most of the water, but not really all of it, and then I would go to the second layer. If you want it to be like a tight, sharp line, you're going to want to put a ton of cotton balls and really pack them in. That way, when you pour the second layer, you pour in the water, most of your first layer is already all soaked up by the cotton balls, so it's not really like drifting or moving around because it's all soaked up. It's almost like a block. Okay, so me, what I did was, because I was like loosey-goosey with my cotton balls and I wanted it to be a little more flowy, I left a lot of water and I left a lot of paint, and so it was able to kind of like shift around and move and blend together as I poured more stuff in. So I hope that makes sense. The second thing that I want to mention is that what you see today may not be what you see tomorrow. And I don't have this happen every single time, but it does happen occasionally. So for example, my last Galaxy jar, the last activity that I did, I had done, I think it was pink, purple, blue, because I remember I was going light to dark. And the next day, the blue was all the way at the bottom and the pink was all the way at the top. It like flipped. So it probably has something to do with the density of the paint or how heavy the paint is. I don't really know, but that's just something to keep in mind, is there is a chance your Galaxy jar may change, because at the end of the day, it's water, it's paint, things move around, temperatures get hotter, cooler, whatever. The last thing that I want to mention is, if you want this to be permanent, if you want this jar to not come off, because like right now I can take mine off and I could redo this activity if I wanted to, but if you want this to be more permanent or you're worried about it spilling, you just hot glue the inside of the jar and twist it on and it should stay. And then number 4, I did have one more thing I wanted to mention. If you decided to upcycle your jar and you wanted to cover your lid, like for some reason you don't want it to say salsa or sauce or whatever it said, I can absolutely teach you how to do that. Just let me know if that's something that you want to see. But essentially, you basically just take Mod Podge, you take fabric or paper, you put it on, you cut strips, and then you fold them in with glue. So, of course, I could do a tutorial for that. If you need one, just let me know. And of course, have fun, and I'll see you later.